Nashville is pumping the brakes on new data center projects with new rules passed in a Metro Council meeting just last night.
So this is directly in response to that proposed project you probably heard about right next to the Nashville Zoo. Our Marius Payton has a closer look.
So this vote could completely change what happens with that zoo area property. Metro Council approved Nashville's first data center regulations. Now, new data centers must go in industrial areas, not directly beside neighborhoods, schools, parks, or other community spaces. Developers will also have to provide public notice, create emergency and backup power plans, monitor noise, and publicly report how much water and energy their facilities use. People who push for these restrictions told council members to pass the new protections now, even though they believe more work still needs to be done.
We have asked for stronger restrictions, but we understand that that might have to come later. So we are asking you to stay locked in with us, continue the fight.
Now, DC Blox closed on the property beside the Nashville Zoo just last week. However, council members said the company had not yet submitted new permits. If it applies now, the project will have to meet these new standards. So this could prevent the data center from being built there as currently proposed. We'll be watching for any permit application or responses from that company. All right, let's send it back to you guys.